Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be the video that I think is going to be helpful for a lot of you guys. If you're kind of in that mid to late game area, you don't really know what to do next, you're just kind of stuck, and you don't necessarily know what to do as far as grinding and making armor and those things. That's what this video is going to cover. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so first things first, I'm just going to take you guys over to the forge. And to keep things simple, I feel like most of you guys that are at this point in the game kind of have an understanding of how all the ores work. They all have specific traits, blah, 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 blah. Okay? I'm going to be linking this website down in the description, but somebody so graciously made a forge calculator so that way you know how much of each ore you are putting in and what you can expect to get out of in terms of the traits. So let's say you have or you are trying to make heavy armor, okay? The best recipe for armor, in my opinion, mithril is good. If you want to go full tank and you do not care about anything else, throw in mithril into this, okay? And now, with that, it's going to be one of those things because you're going to want, I would say, probably something like this. Okay, would be your best bet. You're going to get a slight movement speed buff. You're going to be full tank. You're going to get HP damage. In my honest opinion, you shouldn't do this. You are missing out on something like this. Okay, where you could use Demonite or Darkrai as the filler ore, and or let's say you were farming arcane crystals. I typically leave this fourth slot open for a filler ore that has a high multiplier. So let's say Demonite is the most common. Let's say you have 5 Demonite. Okay, this armor you're gonna have an 84% chance at a heavy chest plate. You're gonna get the full obsidian, which is 30% vitality. You're gonna get 15% movement speed buff, 5% AOE damage, and 2.5% burn when damage is taken. Okay, that is a very, very good chest plate and a 3.54 multiplier. That chest plate will make you something like this. This is what I have right now. I think I threw in a bit more uranium when I did make this, which I kind of messed up on. I will be remaking all of my armor, and I will save that for a future video. Right now, I'm just saving up on ores. But, like these leggings, okay? 140 defense legs. With my runes attached, I get 63% extra health. 17% reflective on thorns, 2.5% burn damage, 5% AoE, 2% weapon damage. You can make some crazy armor with this, but you have to know you have to have it's a maximum of 30%, but if you want the full trait value of whatever you are crafting, you need the full 30% of whatever it is. This is my recommendation for the best kind of armor for you to use. And then as far as weapons go, the best ones that are going to be Magmite, Fireite, if I can spell, and Ior. And again, you don't even with these weapons. Most of you guys want katanas. I know a lot of people like katanas and like the fist. So you could realistically get away with 4 of each one of these ores. You're gonna make a katana with a 4.5% multiplier, which is insane. Okay, and all 3 of these again above the 30%. So you're gonna have the full effect of all 3 of these. If you want something even better, you can throw in Demonite, right? Throw in like 1 or 2 Demonite. Yeah, it's one Demonite, and you're gonna bring the multiplier up just a little bit, bring down the katana percentage a little bit, but still very high. Okay, overall, these 3 ores right here are what you want to make your weapons out of. All right. With that being said, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. As far as best ways to farm for money, if you want money and you want money fast, okay? Let's say you are in the mid game. You do not have a super good weapon. Oop. I went to the wrong spot. You do not have a super good weapon, and you just want to, make a quick 10, 20K in an hour. Okay? Your best bet is going to be come up the ramp over here, right over there next to the lava drop down. Okay? You're going to come back here, break these rocks, or just run on through. You can kill those guys if you want, but you are going to just stay down here, and you are going to kill all of these mobs. Just go around in a circle for a solid hour, okay? It's going to be very repetitive and very boring, but this is the easiest way for you to make money at the stage if you are just now getting over here. You don't do a whole lot of damage, but you do enough to kill those guys down there. Super easy. Alright, now let's say you're a bit later into the game. You have better weapons, better armor, you can stay alive for a bit longer. There we go. Okay. Kill literally everything down here. And I know a lot of you guys are not going to be able to just, run around and two-shot everything like I am. But these guys are going to drop you those superior, epic, and greater essence. And those sell for so much more than the medium and large essence. Like, I'll show you. Okay, let me put in one greater essence. Okay, that's gonna sell for 50, and then if I put in one superior, it's gonna sell for 75, and one epic, it's gonna sell for 100. If I sold all 100 of the, and I can get this, mind you, in 5-10 minutes, I can get all of this. Alright, I'm getting 30K in just a few minutes. It does not take long. And for you guys, if you're selling all of that and you need money fast, if you're able to kill people down here, do it. That's going to be your best way to make money. When you are farming, never sell your ores that you have. Let's say your stash gets full and you have a bunch of volcanic rocks, rubies, whatever, amethyst, all that stuff. Do not just sell it. Make it into armor, make a heavy chest plate, and you will be able to sell it for like 2,000 to 2,500 for each piece that you make. And you only need about like 30 of that ore. So you can make like 5 or 10 chest plates, and boom, now you've got another, 20, 30K that you didn't have before. So, those are the best ways to make money. Now for farming. A lot of people are not understanding how to farm and the most efficient way to farm. There is a thing called resetting. I like to think I was one of the first people to find out about it. But, essentially, let's say you're kind of on a slower server. There's not a lot of people. I do not recommend doing this strat, by the way, if there's a lot of people, because people will come and take your ores from you just to be a dick. Okay? So, if you're on a kind of slower server, like I am right now, alright, you just want to farm ores, get it down to a certain amount of health, to where you see what's in the ore. As you can see, there's eye ore in this. Most of you, I don't want it, but I'll go ahead and mine it for this example. You can go ahead and just farm. I'm going to break this next rock. There's nothing in this rock that I like, okay? So I'm just going to leave it. Or let's just give it like, I think it's about 20 seconds or so. I'll go ahead and speed this up as well. As you can see, there's an emerald and a quartz in there, okay? But I don't want that. So I'm going to let it reset. There we go. Now that it's reset, I'm going to mine it again. And now we have a different rock, right? We have a sapphire, topaz, and an amethyst. So it resets what the rock would have been every single time. Now, for most of you guys, if you're going to be coming down here, you want to at least have the lightite pickaxe, or the cobalt one, the one that's 98,500. If you do not have this arcane pickaxe. With that being said, a lot of people are going to be farming for the volcanic rocks, okay? Because that's where you get like the Fireite, the Magmite, the Demonite, and the Darkite, okay? Chances are, unless you're on a slower server, it's going to be very hard to find them, and I'm on a slow server and I can't even find them anyway. So you kind of get the gist of it. Okay, you want to just farm the rock, figure out what's in the rock, and then if it's not what you want, let it reset, and then go ahead again. You know, like that. I'm just gonna leave. It is kind of boring, but I promise you, it is the best way to farm. I have found, I think, close to 30 Darkrai, about 35 to 40 Demonite. I've gotten really unlucky with the armor that I've made with it, so it all just kind of went to waste. But overall, oh yeah, look, like right here. We're gonna mine this down. From what I've noticed, the volcanic rocks with their 4,500 HP, they show you there's 2 sets of ores that can spawn. So at around 2,200 HP or 2,100, yep, you're going to see the first set. This does not mean stop mining, okay? Obviously that is Ravelite and volcanic rocks. I don't care about that, okay? And the next set will come down at around 1,300 HP, okay? It's still Ravelite and volcanic rocks. That means that if I keep breaking this, all I'm going to get is that. I don't want that, but I'm going to mine it just to show you. You can just keep resetting this rock. The ideal thing is if you're on a slow server. If you're on a slower server and you have 2 rocks that spawn directly next to each other, you can mine both at the same time. Look at both of the rocks while you're mining. See if you get anything, and if you don't, you let them reset and rinse and repeat. Now you're doing it twice as fast. That is the best way to farm. And look, alright, I know some people are going to be dickheads. It is not worth arguing with them. Okay, if you have somebody that's annoying, just going around trying to take all of your rocks, do whatever, I would either just leave the server or try to calm them down in chat, you know, just be like, dude, you need to stop taking all the damn rocks, like, there's plenty to go around, whatever. People are going to be annoying at the end of the day, but I don't think it's worth arguing with them in the chat over it, so just move servers if that's what it needs to be. And lastly, last but not least, mind you, your stash will fill up quite quickly doing this. Okay, so don't expect to wake up and you have hundreds of legendary ores because you have a minimum stash capacity. Okay, but the best way, let's say you're going to AFK for like an hour, you could easily, if you're on computer, sorry, mobile and console, you guys don't have auto clickers, unless you do, or you know of a way. But you want to come here to this rock. If you have a pickaxe that can break this stuff, you sit right here, just leave an auto clicker going, just mining this. And these are 2 basalt veins that spawn in. A lot of the time, a lot of people know about this already, so there's going to be multiple people here. But you will get your opportunity to mine the rock whilst you're doing it, you know, just leave it, let it go. And with that being said, that's kind of all of that for this video. The next video is going to be me making my god armor that I have planned, and hope we get it. With that being said, I love you guys. You guys have a good night.